Today in the crypto space, we see the market getting a bit of strength to the upside. Bitcoin right around 106,000 and a half. Ethereum right about 3,400, doing pretty good, approximately up 5%, 6%. And the rest of the crypto space, the altcoins also showing some strength as we see HBAR, Ethereum, Solana, Ondo, and many others showing a bit of strength. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about an OG in the space, a Dino project, and that project is called VECHAIN. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunity. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join that Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setup, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with this market. As you can see, the market right now is doing okay. The problem is that the micro caps, the small caps, are still hurting, and particularly the ones that belong to the AI agent narrative. A very interesting narrative, a very bullish narrative. However, when it comes to price, not so much. Okay, so let's look at the market cap here for a second. Right now, it's at about $3.8 trillion at the top of the range, looking for a breakout. Guys, it's looking great for a potential price discovery type of scenario here for the market cap. As we do see the trading volume, though, it doesn't look that strong in the sense that we want trading volume. We want market participation here. And as long as the volume is low this way, it's not a good sign for that breakout. Okay, so let's just keep an eye on it. I just want to quickly point some attention here on Thorchain. Unfortunately, Thorchain at the current moment is bleeding out. It's not looking good. There's tons of FUD on the Thorchain. You know, at the end of the day, you know, Thorchain was a star in the previous cycles, and not all projects, you know, are going to hold up, or not all projects are going to show the same amount of strength. However, guys, you know, I could expect that the tech is still solid. The problem is perhaps tokenomics. You know, they're printing a lot of new tokens. They're minting a lot of new tokens every time the price falls. But ultimately, guys, we're hoping for recoveries on a lot of these altcoins because a lot of them right now are falling below horizontal support. And if there are new projects in speculative arenas, speculative narratives, that's expected, and it's totally, it should be planned for. You know, small market cap, you know, that they should, you know, have that volatility, and they do have that volatility. However, Thorchain is in a different boat, guys. It shouldn't be fluctuating that hard and coming down that bad. Okay, so just keep an eye on it. Hopefully everybody's safe out there with their positions. I do hold a small bag, nothing major. Obviously that bag is really underwater right now. I bought it spot to hold, not meant to trade, so I lock and load and forget about it. And right now, obviously, it's coming to my attention. We do see, like I said, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. We have Tether in an uptrend. We have Solana looking good. We have, what else do we have? BNB going sideways. A lot of sideways price action. However, we do have some projects slowly on an incline. For example, Tron looking okay. But there's breakouts to be had here right now. Like, we do see a lot of these projects looking for breakouts. And this is part of the sentiment at the current moment, is that a lot of us, including myself, those degens out there, and of course, you know, we're degens because we buy small caps, we buy the micro caps, but we fail to recognize, you know, the conditions of those types of assets. And, you know, ultimately the volatility is really there. And as you can see, the top 100 is not a true representation of a degen portfolio. However, guys, it is very important that we diversify. It is very important that we buy bottoms so that if it dips, it doesn't dip that bad. You already bought a bottom. So if it comes down a little bit more, the worst case scenario is that we, you know, look for a continuation indication, and a lot of them are falling below that horizontal, and we're waiting to see if they get rejected off of those horizontals. And then we do see exchange tokens looking very strong. BitGet, another day of green, making a higher high. What does that mean to you guys? What does that mean when exchange tokens come in hot? It means, for me, it means that market participation is slowly coming in. We have Hyperliquid showing strength here, at least going sideways, up 6.5% more or less, which is great. And then again, we keep on going down to see other projects. Ondo's looking good. Of course, I like Ondo. You guys know that. VECHAIN is the project that I want to talk about today, because VECHAIN ultimately is going sideways, but the structure that it has built at this sideways or this bottom type of scenario, I know it's hard to see it on the 1 hour fractal. It could be something that we should pay attention to. And the reason being is that the last time we got an altcoin pump, we saw that the dino projects, the boomer projects, the projects that were around in the previous cycle, we saw them actually show a lot of strength. And we know that VECHAIN has stellar marketing, guys. They're all over many sports arenas and events, and not only that, we also see them show a lot of strength, and their project is solid. So I'm curious to see how VECHAIN reacts when we get the next pop to the upside. It could be a good gainer. It was a good gainer. It is at a $4 billion market cap, so it's quite large, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. If it's going to be a gainer, it's going to be a gainer. Of course, we're going to take a look at that chart very soon. Let's continue scraping through here. We have Jupiter rolling to the upside, nice rounded bottom there, and then another exchange token, Gate, up 10%. Guys, what does that tell you? Again, why are people buying the Gate token and the BitGet token? Guys, it's the people that want to trade. And why are they trading? Because they want to get on exchanges. Okay, so keep that in mind. We also see Radium, a DEX, good trading volume, 40% to the upside in the last 7 days. On Solana, it's looking great. Of course, if you look at the last 40 days, it's absolutely brilliant. And then we go down, and guess what we also have here? KuCoin, another exchange token showing a lot of strength, up 16.2% today. It's the exchange tokens that are killing the scene today. And what we could conclude by these three indicators right now is that the market participation is getting involved. It's very interesting moments right now to see, because we are definitely showing weakness in some sectors of this crypto space and strength in others. So I'm curious to see how this resolves. And as we keep on going down, guys, a lot of flatline action, okay, as well. Okay, so let's take a look at what's going on here with this general market. Let's begin by looking at Bitcoin first, and then we'll take a look at the VECHAIN chart. Guys, you can't say that Bitcoin is not looking bullish. Ultimately, what we have to do every so often is remove the artwork and zoom out. What is Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin is looking for another move to the upside after multiple extensions up. We can get another one, guys, and hit that 120 at least. Let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. So we get the artwork back, of course, and as we get the mess back on the chart, we start to say, okay, but well, is it too late? Are we buying tops? And I'm going to let you know, guys, buying Bitcoin right now is like buying a top. However, it is a good chance of a breakout any moment, guys. This hesitation is driving people insanity. You know, ultimately, I am seeing the sentiment in the chats, ultimately, that there's a lot of people worried and a lot of bearishness, a lot of exhaustion. And I'm telling you right now, guys, this is not the time to get exhausted, okay? You've been training for these moments for over 2 years, 3 years, throughout the entire bear market. Now is the time to show some endurance here and at least take the shots that you are going to take. If you missed the shot, at least you took it. And that's the reality. This looks like a bull flag. It looks like a consolidation before a continuation. Now, it could be a pivot point to the downside. I'm not saying it can't. And come down to maybe about 97. But the reality is the bias is to the upside, given the fact that it's coming in or stemming from an impulsive move that broke the previous high. And it's reacting at the previous high and the all-time high, which is absolutely normal. And in fact, it kind of spiked right above it, you know, to peak into that price discovery mode. The reality is, guys, Bitcoin is still bullish, despite the sentiment, despite the anxiety that is existing right now in the space. We are just anxious because we want to see Bitcoin run. And we are getting so many bullish catalysts on the news lately, politically, economically, and so on, that we are wondering why hasn't Bitcoin moved. Okay, so Guys, it's all about patience. The market does weird things. Look at this. EMA is facing up, ready to go. And I'm talking about the 4-hour right now. The 4-hour is getting a bit of a rollover. Do we come down to the trend line? Possible, but we could also possibly get overbought again and start expanding one more time. So just keep in mind that we're in the chop zone at the current moment, and then we can go sideways. Bitcoin is still okay. And I'm not worried right now because ultimately Bitcoin carries this market. It always has and will always do that. The same way gold carries our markets when things go bad and things are ugly. Gold is the one that props us up and keeps us going. And ultimately, Bitcoin is doing its job right now, keeping us going. Now, what we are hoping for is that we can get into some speculative assets and start, perhaps trading to the upside where we can buy more Bitcoin by trading those speculative assets. And right now, we're seeing a lot of them come down to much lower levels. But like we've seen in the past, we've seen the Dino coins do well. And this is why today I want to talk about VECHAIN. So as Bitcoin showing strength here, imagine a Bitcoin breakout. And keep in mind, Ethereum right now is also looking for a break of trend and perhaps a change of character. And it's not really breaking out any major horizontals, but it is looking for that pivot to the upside, which is good. And of course, we'll talk about Ethereum tonight live at 8 p.m. EST. Guys, join and make those requests. We'll take a look at setups tonight. And let's take a look at VECHAIN. Why not? Let's just jump right into it. Now, I know a lot of people are not really talking about VECHAIN, but they were kind of buzzing about it when it broke out, right? And of course, here on the channel, we were tracking it. I tracked it here, and this was way, way back. If you guys don't remember, I have the videos still on the channel for you to go check them out. We were tracking it here. I bought my dips right into here. And guess what, guys? We came down here, and I made that green arrow a lot bigger because look where we are. Beautiful, beautiful level for support. We got oversold, and we're getting divergence. And we got decent follow through to the point that we made a higher high. So the question is, now what? Now what? Are you going to, buy this dip? And I'll tell you right now, it doesn't look that bad. It's not the best, but at least there's a structure to play. Okay, and the structure is clear, and that's what I appreciate. And there's both bearish and bullish scenarios with many structures. Of course, there's always a scenario, but with many of them, it's sometimes a scenario where maybe we don't get oversold, and in a bull run, maybe we don't get completely oversold each time. And as we see VECHAIN hesitating here, we ask ourselves, how much strength do the bears still have in them to push through this, little bit of a weak spot? Now, I want to quickly look. Is this still a weak spot? It kind of is. It's still a valid weak spot. As you can see, as I introduce more price action, it does look like the volume there kind of diminishes significantly, which means that if the price decides to fall below 4.3 cents, you have critical decisions to make. Either you're going to hold and endure, or you're going to buy the dip, or you're going to, stop yourself out, get out of the position, and reaccumulate down here. Obviously, these decisions are ones that you have to make because it all depends on your strategy, your time frame, and your risk tolerance. And for me personally, because my entries were great, I really don't care. And that's the beauty behind buying from positions of strength. You buy low, and then obviously you take profit on highs. Red arrows, you start taking profit. So what happens is that we are looking for entries, or are we looking for shorting opportunities, or are we looking for accumulation opportunities? I want to quickly look at the oscillators here for a second and look at these in tandem with the price. I'm going to get rid of the trend oscillator and just look at momentum for a second. And we can see that we've got great follow through to the point that we got severely overbought. We got a nice dip expansion to the downside. What's more important to me is that we're in the chop zone right now, holding support, and we've been holding support for a good while. And you can see the price actions planking, going sideways with tons of volume. So the question is, do we finally get some support here and start rolling to the upside and call this a nice rounded bottom? Or are we going to consider this a bear flag where we break down, fall through the volume gap, and come down to about 3.4 cents? Now, the conditions are this. If this is going to happen where we come down here, expect to get oversold. If it doesn't, and we stay and hold this level of support, which is possible, very likely we hold the chop zone of support, and then we start getting overbought again, and this expansion is done. Okay, and that's the case, we start moving. The good news is you can put stop losses, guys. You can plan your entries. You can say, you know what, okay, fine, maybe it is going to fall. Maybe it's going to fall. I know I can see some support here. So let me get in with the small bag and see what happens. If it pops, I'll take profit. I'll take profit or trail up a stop loss well into profit. If it does dip, at least I know what I got to do. Either double down, triple down, or exit and reaccumulate down here. And this is the beauty behind looking at very clear charts. And this is why I chose this chart today, is obviously because of the clarity. But in addition to that, what about if those Dino Boomer projects wake up again when we start to see altcoins run? Because that's what happened last time. Okay, so keep that in mind. These are very familiar projects. These are well-known projects. These are UFC type of marketing projects. And these are awesome projects. Ultimately, the tech is still valid. And I'm expecting some good stuff here. Now, if we look at previous price action, you can see that this top could be acting as support. As we chip away at liquidity at these levels, you can see that the bulls are holding up pretty hard. You can see that people are not really selling with that much vigor unless something happens fundamentally to cause these people to capitulate. This is looking like very good support. In fact, we are making slightly higher highs and higher lows at the current moment, as you can see. Now, even retracements do that. They go to the upside and then they come down for another impulsive down. And I'm very aware of that, but you can't deny the clarity of this structure. Okay, so this is why I appreciate it. Now, let's take a look at the trend oscillator. Trend oscillator is actually looking quite bullish. We got a bullish divergence right here that's getting a little bit of follow through. What I would love to see, and this is very typical, to see confusion, uncertainty before we shift from the bearish to the bullish control zone. And as you can see that. But what I really do see is the expansion that's coming in here, the purple expansion. And that purple expansion, as the EMAs are facing up with green histogram bars entering the bullish control zone, you know what, guys, it's very likely that we start to see something like this. It could happen. And this is the thing here, in the chop zone is where we could get some support, and eventually, and you can see how the indecision and the chop zone are in confluence here, lots of confluence. So a bit of a bag there is not a bad idea, just because of what we can see here on these charts. Now I'm going to quickly get onto the lower time frames, because this is the daily. Let's take a look at the 4 hour, and you can see the sideways price action. You know, you could have traded this range for a good while, and we're overbought and we're oversold and all of that. I am not seeing any edge on the 4 hour at all. There's no edge. You know, you have to have your thesis built on the daily, and if your daily thesis is bullish, you have to buy these bottoms. If your daily thesis is bearish, where this becomes a bear flag, you have to basically take profit on the tops or start building a short position at the tops. And that's the way it has to go. You got to pick a side. My bias is to the upside, given that this thing came in from an impulse, not a swing failure pattern. It swung up and dipped a little bit, fine, but it's holding support and consolidating. Guys, this is actually good. This is what we want to see. The problem is the ABC correction going to come in and punish? And that's the issue. Now, despite what's going on the 4 hour, I don't see anything as far as edge. There's too much volatility on the 4 hour within a very tight range, so I'm not really crazy about it. We do see EMAs facing up right now, but it could be short-lived, as it has been in the past many, many times, as it kind of shows that indecision right here. So 4 hours tough. The daily is where it's at right now. Focus on the daily time frame, because you can see the clarity, and that's about it. VeChain, hot project. You know, good future, has a history. It is a boomer project, but we saw a lot of people flock to a lot of these boomer projects when they started waking up. Look at these higher highs and higher lows, guys. It's looking good. Next run could be super parabolic, and getting back to previous highs is probably in the agenda for VeChain. Guys, if I've offered you any value here on the channel, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join the Discord, guys. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys. See you tonight at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Take care, have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip.